Hello, I'm Will Johnson with Pathbinder Publishing, and today I'm here speaking with Bill Wynne, author of Understanding and Combating Racism, My Path from Oblivious American to Evolving Activist. I assume you don't intend only other white people to read this book, so what would you hope is the biggest takeaway for, say, a black person picking up and reading the book?
Wow. Absolutely. I mean, I think it's black people will get something out of this book. And the reason I say that is that based on at least two or three stories I'll relay to you here. Um, One goes back several years now, and I met this woman, black professional woman, who was involved with an organization I was involved with. And she was marginalized at this meeting that we're at in a way that I thought was I was just getting into this group, and it struck me. And it was basically not so much that she was black, but she was female. So I was kind of the ones who asked her, well, what do you think? And just trying to get her into the conversation. So we met after that meeting, and then we became friends because of that, because she was really appreciative of what I did. And after a few meetings, I got to know her, she got to know me. And one of the intros to the meeting, these are over coffee. It isn't a formal thing and all that. And I said, I got to thank you for, all the stuff that you've been sharing, your experience in Louisiana as a Catholic, segregation in Catholic Church, blah, blah, blah. And she stopped me and she said, no, I appreciate what you're saying, but I got to thank you. And I'm going, wow. I said, why is that? She goes, I didn't know that white people didn't know. I always assumed that, this is her talking, that you were in charge, you were in control, you had the power, you knew exactly what you were doing. And what you revealed is that that's not necessarily true. Some do, some don't. Uh, so that was a striking one. Another one was in this program that I was involved with, and I might get into this later, but called Sacred Conversations. I'll maybe explain more about that later, but about the story. So there's this exercise that we're doing, and the director of the program said, okay, you're standing apart from this black person. Each of you tell your story about how you grew up talking about racism when you were a youngster, growing up in your homes and all that. I've told this story several times, but thankfully she went first, and she just goes on because we only have 2 or 3 minutes, and she filled that up, 2 or 3 minutes worth of her experience. And I'm thinking my mind's spinning as I'm listening to her, and I'm going like, oh my God. So it got to me, and I'm going like, I got nothing to say. We never talked about it. So, I mean, these are things that I think can help maybe my book can help, see one person's experience with that, and how blacks might see things a little bit, differently. I'm not saying that that's important, but that could be. It should be. Um, another story is about this really good friend of mine that I've known for over 40 years, and she and I won't get explain all the reasons for it, but as COVID hit, we began almost at least daily or every other day phone conversations, about the state of affairs and what's going on, and da 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 da. All I can say out of that, I mean, I'm not going to get into, obviously there's too many details to get into, but that you can have a true black friend, and a black person can have a true white friend. And that's what she would absolutely say, you know, if she were on this call or listening to this. Um, but the culture of whiteness is deeper than blacks can even imagine, and much beyond your experience as a black person, believe it or not. It's just huge. It's incredibly deep, and it resonates and is based on fear that resides in both black and whites. Obviously, the black experience is abundant with why to be afraid or what to be fearful about. But it's interesting from the white perspective in terms of fear. At least one local notable black anti-racism activist in my sphere doesn't seem to believe that whites have a reason to be fearful or fearful at all. And that's primarily due, and I know for a fact that many do fear, and that's primarily due to the fear of losing the power they've literally always had, or we've always had. And that's whether that's physical power, financial power, wealth power, just overall economic access to health, whatever it might be. Uh, there's a fear of being taken a step back. That's fear. So I think that I get into this in the book, and I think that combination of all these stories and my experience can give a black or blacks a lot of reference points of something they may not have known before.